And we'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And who's going to do roll call?
Slipey, Trottier, absent both. Arnie,
Here.
Williams, Searden.
So just to note, Kim is on her way.
Okay.
So approval of minutes. Did anybody have anything?
Do you want them both at once?
We can start with the May 8th.
Okay. I'll move to approve May 8th minutes.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And July 10th.
I'll move to approve the July 10th meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, we got that done. All right, then, budget. Who's going to?
Park plan.
Park master plan proposals, Joe?
Yep. I handed out these spreadsheets that say 1 and 2 on it. The one, because Widseth presented additional charges, but they did it in a range from, whatever, 1,500 to 4,000.
3,500 to 5.
Yeah. So the one that has number 1 on it, that would be the high end of the Widseth range, and that's reflected in the max cost rank. And then on the low end of their range is the one that says number 2, and that's reflected in the max cost range. It didn't change anything drastically. There was some, like on the first one, we had ties, or the second one, there was a couple of them that tied, but it was just a correction to how they proposed it. They worded it kind of different from everyone else. Everyone else had it in their little boxes, so.
Yeah, they had it at the very end of their
Yep.
presentation down here, like the last sentence.
Yep. And then
So-
the committee scores came out with Widseth 478, Aries 450, HKGI 433, SGA 405, Moore at 397, and Cravaco at 381.
Well, the top 3 definitely rose to the top.
Yep,
mean-
that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if you want, have any further discussion or make a motion to select one, this would be the time, so. Or any other question perhaps, or,
Anybody have anything on the number 1 pick? Do we want to just focus on that and go with it? It's,
I like that it's middle of the road even when you're looking at the cost ranking. I mean, it's not way out of line either way. So, and the relationships. So
yeah, I think that's a plus.
I'd make a motion to grant the RFP to Widseth. Is that? Or make a recommendation to the council to,
proceed
good?
with Widseth.
with Widseth as our partner.
And do I have a second? Or
Maybe we don't.
are you going to second?
No, you
Can I? All right, I'll second it. And more discussion.
Yeah,
Nothing.
honestly, I was not impressed with Widseth's application. Given that they have been working with the city for a long time, I thought they would make it more relevant to what we're doing. It almost seemed as if they didn't know the city at all. I was disappointed in it. you know, I'm sure everybody's familiar with their work and they're a big name around here, but just didn't impress me is that they put in adequate effort to win this, like they thought it was a shoo-in. And I didn't, it wasn't one of my very high ranked at all, for those reasons. That they should have come in with something that was really impressive.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I
an impression you
perceived-
got. I mean,
Yeah, I perceived them, they were in my top 3. I don't know if they were number 1. I can't remember anymore. It's been too many weeks. But I liked the people that were very visual, I was drawn to as well, and breaking down a little bit more detail of what they would do and actually meeting with the park committee. And a lot of them had some of that, but it just wasn't as easy to find. And the relationship and the work that they've done, they were in my top 3. I don't know if they were my number 1. So seeing if that they rose to the top, I have no problem. I would have had no problem with any of the 3 I had ranked highest. So
the
that's
three
just my
that-
little bit.
The 3 that I chose were the 3 that were in the top. And I, again, too, would be happy with all of them. I like, there is an advantage for Woodseth, obviously. They may have, I'm not going to try to put words in their mouth, but because they do know and they have been doing things, maybe they felt like they didn't have to write that kind of thing. But the other, I like a couple of the other ones for what they said about doing in community outreach. And this, the impact the packet made on me is kind of the impact I think they're going to make on the community. And I think that's really important, how they outreach to the community and that we get the proper excitement from the community and enough people coming and giving their input so that we can make good decisions. I do think, a different set of eyes looking at our city might be great too. That's an advantage, I think, to have fresh eyes on it. But I agree with all 3 being, and I think, like you said, Joe, all of them could have done a decent job with it.
Yep. All of them brought good things to the table. Like the cost on Moore was exceptionally good.
Yeah.
The preparation, they all had the same instructions, and we saw the variation on how they interpreted it. I think that our number 1 choice will work just fine. I think number 2 would work all of them would work just fine.
When I look at my top 3 that I did, what I did send in, I actually had a top 4. So EOR was also kind of similar there as well for me. But the top 3 here fell in my top 3. So
All right, so I don't know if we should wait for Kim to vote, because if we have,
do we have a?
I don't think we have a quorum, do we?
Is there only 5? Yeah, then you have a quorum. Yep.
Well, we have. Are we operating off of 5 now, or are we 7?
We're 5, we're 5, we're
Okay.
5.
Okay. I just know it had been increased to 7, so I didn't know.
They talked about it,
They approved 5.
Back to 5?
Yeah.
they said unless we have,
Perfect. Sorry.
people waiting in the wings and applying and wanting to be part of it,
I missed
then
that.
we're okay with 5. but,
Great.
Yeah, like
were for
tonight, it
years.
kinda.
Okay.
So should
We're
we vote
good?
on it?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor for Woodseth, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so can we take this back up when Kim comes?
Or we just voted?
Or are we good? We're good with
You're
that? Okay,
Unless you could inform her what you decided, but.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. Okay. All right, so that is that. So now, please tell us, what is the process after this? We send this recommendation to the council.
Yep.
They,
On the September agenda for approval.
thank you.
If they
They-
approve, then
Yeah, if they approve it, and then I reach out to them, and we'll see how they want to handle it. I figure the timelines, you firm up timelines and scope and that thing kind of in your initial discussion, because timelines can be adjusted. Like if you want to extend things or shorten them up or however you want to do it. But you had to have something in the proposal to bid on, essentially. most projects, once you get into the project, then that's when you start fine tuning the details and have them get the background and meet each other, maybe tour the site, and that could happen, without the committee. I can do most of that. And then the next committee meeting, we'd probably have an introduction and we'll see how they want to do it too. They're part of the process, so.
Okay, financially, how does it work? So does this come out of Park and Rec budget, this 30,000 comes out of Park and Rec?
That's one option. I mean, that's what the council, I mean, ultimately it's up to the council to do, but
We understand that, but
that's where I would suggest.
that's where I
they
would
take it
assume
out
it's
of.
coming out of.
That's what, I just didn't
I mean, it's
know
our
for
plan,
sure,
our
because-
master plan, or our,
Yeah, whether it's the
Yeah.
capital or operating, I imagine the capital.
Yeah, the $50,000 project.
Yep.
Would be my recommendation, because
Okay.
we don't have not a use, but we don't have any other project plan this year that would use those funds, so.
Okay, just want to be clear. And any other questions anybody else has? No. Since we're doing budgets next, so that'll tie in right nicely for that. I just feel like for budgets, well, I'm excited about this anyway, you guys, so I'm so happy we got this going, and I can't wait to get started on this and see what's in store for us. It's going to be fun. I just don't feel like I understand budget enough, and I don't think we don't really pay that much attention to detail. I mean, we've seen the garden stuff. We see like our annual operating, like what it all cost just to keep going was like about 13,000 before we got our budget. That was all we had, was just what we spent to maintain things, basically. So and maybe the new system, you could, it might be more detailed and we might be able to see more things, or I don't know, I'm hoping.
Generally, committees don't have a ton of input on budget as far as operating budget especially. You give direction like, hey, people have been telling me the ball field needs more egg or lime or something like that. But administration of the operating budget, we do that. As far as funding it, that's council.
Yeah, so you have your operating budget, which is like where his guy's wages comes from,
Right.
and like kind of your ongoing operating costs. Then there's the $50,000 of capital funds that the city can authorize to the Parks and Rec, which they've done.
Yeah.
So that goes, the whole budget goes to the council in September. So as far as parks part of it, that's
Right.
kind of how it works. There's the capital part and then kind of your operating funds.
Just wanting to make sure that, we stay under our budget. You guys would probably let us know if we're getting,
That shouldn't be a problem.
outside of it. And like you are also saying that, we could probably put in some more beds, and that would be
That
covered.
can be operating budget.
That could be operating budget,
Yep.
so,
Like, once you exceed, like $5,000, that's where council authorization
Okay.
is required. So like, 3 beds, they're $300. Not, like I can authorize $1,000 out of operating budgets, for, repair, maintenance, supplies, little things like a sign got tore down, fix it, that sort of thing. If it's more than that, then I go to Ally. The administrator can authorize 5,000. And it depends too how councils and administrators want to use operating budgets. Sometimes I've had some administrators that the entire dollar amount in your operating budget, they consider pre-approved. And then, like dust coating, for example, that costs $30,000. I've had some administrators say, just do it. The council already approved it. And some administrators say, well, write a memo, have the council approve it. I've done it all different ways, so.
okay. That helps me to understand. Hi, Kim. Just want to say Kim is here in attendance, so,
Apologize for being late.
and
5:30%, I don't know.
just so you know, we approved Woodseth as they were the top number one And you'll see it in the numbers here, but, so that's going on to council for their approval. And we just,
So Joe, are you going to tell us about the
Budgets.
budget?
Yep.
yep,
So, since we were talking about like operating budget, that was the second page. And, like where it says 2025 year-to-date budget, that's how much we expected things to cost. And then where it says 2025 YTD amount, that's year-to-date amount. So like you can see compensation, we were expecting 57,000, we got 8.5. That's how that works. So basically, you know, the budget for this year was 110,000 and 26,000 has been spent. And that's operating costs.
Is there that much sitting there?
That's the balance of the budget. When you talk out of what's coming out of the general
Right.
fund, it's like the checking account that everyone writes checks out of.
Right.
So, if the budget is airtight and super balanced, yes. But I don't do those things, so that's more of a Jeanette and Ally question.
Well, I guess I just want to know,
does it roll over?
yeah, are we going to lose?
Necessarily.
Oh, darn it.
It can be either way.
Depends on how it's chosen to be managed.
That it be rolled over?
I mean, we're starting to do
Talk
things now.
Jeanette. Typically, that would happen during the audit where they look at the previous year's financials and do transfers.
Yeah.
Whether that be, it'll likely be designated surplus if there's some left. And then the council decides how to handle that surplus if they wish. Otherwise, it just rolls over in the general account.
Like Public Works, whatever we save goes into the general fund to help offset other areas and other costs. But you anticipate each year there should be that much available to cover your costs.
So it was budgeted for that much available.
Yes. And that's basically, and then on that second page, you know, it shows your percent of the percent of the budget for each line item. One thing with Park and Recreation budget is typically when you do budgets, you do them mid-year, so you like to kind of go about July roughly. But Park and Recreation spending isn't linear, like it's not like this, it's May, June, July, August, that's when our costs are, that's when fertilizing, grass mowing, all those things occur. So looking at a half year doesn't give you sometimes a real good picture, because you might only have an eighth of your costs.
Well, what about, I mean, are there things that you would recommend that could use some freshening up, like right still this year that we could, I mean, there's money to spend, and are there needs that we have? I don't know.
We don't have time.
Isn't that
We're-
what this sheet is, though?
We're short of time this year.
Wood chips, the trail and the paving and the basketball court?
That's next year.
Oh, that's for next year? So you can't get it in this year?
We didn't budget for like a capital expenditure, something like, not
So
capital,
those
but
15,000s aren't gonna fly? You can't just go ahead and do those?
no. Like the proper way of doing a budget is when you're doing a big expenditure like that, that's something that's not routine, like grass mowing. You put it in the budget process, you put a dollar amount, it goes through the process this year, if it gets approved, and then next year you bid the stuff out and get the cheapest stuff you can. That's how we've operated, or I've done, we've operated for about 10 years. Because otherwise, like, I want to say audit-wise, it'd be considered an unbudgeted expenditure.
Right.
Because it'd be if you're pulling out of the capital and it's not reflected in your planning budgets, and that's kind of frowned upon.
So where will the master plan costs come out of, to 2025 or 2026?
2025 capital.
Okay,
Yep.
okay,
That's what it was budgeted for, yeah.
okay, all right.
Do they bill us as they go, or do they bill us, I mean?
I don't know, to be honest.
Likely at the end.
At the
not
end, because then
like
it's
a
like,
chunk at the
then do
front
you want to
and
do
a
that
chunk-
other extra cost for the survey and all that? That would be at the end for sure, because that's not determined until the end.
Accumulate.
I didn't know how they operate with something like that.
What we've done, whenever we, like, when we've planned on spending the money out of one year's budget and it drags into the next year, that's a better question for Jeanette, but I know in the past when we've had that happen, I don't know if an exception's made or a note, so the
what I was
accountants
saying about
know
rolling
our
things over.
intention was to
Yeah.
spend it.
Yeah.
The timing didn't work
The
out.
money's earmarked,
Yep.
maybe, or,
Yes. We've done that on like when dump trucks don't come in on time or something, or pickups, or that can happen. And yeah, otherwise it throws your budget out of whack, because, you know, something you planned on buying last year comes out of the budget it wasn't supposed to. As long as you're aware of it and pay attention to it, it usually isn't a problem.
And I think what you're also saying is a lot of your guys' time from July, a month and a half, isn't in here. So that's why you're seeing kind of that large balance, is a lot of the compensation isn't reflected in the mid-year in costs and.
Yep, and we haven't had
Yeah,
time to
like you said,
do
all that work is
a
all
lot
in
of
the
the
summer.
things we normally would do, like fertilizing and some other items, but that's, you know, that happens some years, so. All right, that was the operating, and then as far as the, you know, the budgeted expenditures, wood chips, they're definitely needed. The new wood chips from the initial installation, you know, they settled down, used up. They're below the threshold they should be at. That would cover like 3 semi-loads. That'd give us several years worth.
And that's in both the
playground.
playground? Okay,
Yep.
playground
Yep,
only.
the new playground only.
Okay.
And then,
so it's- there's like code, right? with that? There's
Yeah.
code for,
That kind of chip.
yeah.
there's, like, on all those playgrounds, if you look at the posts, there's usually a line on them. That line is the indication of how deep your fall protection should be. And where some areas, you know, it's down, and
Okay.
instead of like scooping it from the outside areas and making it mounded, which you kind of do to cover yourself, we just need more. And it's part of the process of having playgrounds. Several years ago, I looked into, you know, it's looked at as a waste cost because you're always adding to it, but I think it was rubber mulch. They priced it out and it was like $200,000 or $300,000 to fill it in, and that comes with its own drawbacks. Like wood chips, the mowers chew up, they go away in the grass. The rubber mulch does not, and it gets outside. The other option is sand, which isn't, like, sand isn't ADA compliant, wood chips are, because you can drive a wheelchair on them, so.
Lots of things.
The new playground has, at Eagle View has the rubber solid,
The poured stuff,
yeah.
yeah, that's
That's
even
very
more.
expensive,
Yes, a lot more.
Bet.
but it's
Probably more
more
cost than our
accessible.
entire park system, times 2.
Yeah. Okay,
So anyway, the wood chips for sure, trail paving, what I mean by that is essentially making extensions off the trail to the community garden to tie in. That's an option, and then basketball court resurfacing. The green portion, the white lines are present, the green portion is kind of flaked away. I got a couple estimates on it. Both the people that did the estimates said it looks in good enough shape, they would recommend redoing it.
They wouldn't recommend redoing.
They would.
They would. Redoing it, meaning all of it comes off?
It's like a paint.
It's just paint, not the,
It's not just paint, it's a paint that lasts a really long time. And like the basketball court was originally painted green, and then the lines were white. And it's what they do on pickleball courts too, is they use the same product.
okay.
I don't know what it is, but it lasts 20 years.
So it's not like putting paving down. It's
No,
just the top.
no.
That's 15,000.
It's just the
Wow.
sealant. It's an expensive product.
Okay.
And then, you know, that was assuming there'd be 50,000 in the capital.
Yeah.
Did that get changed, Ally, from the finance committee down to 30?
Preliminarily,
preliminarily. So,
Yep.
For 26. So they went from 50 to 30 for us. Wow.
so that gives you two options. I mean, in my mind, to fit that budget, it's the court resurfacing or the trail paving. I'd probably go the paving route because there's more immediate need to that. And then the following year, we could do the basketball court resurfacing. Any thoughts on that?
I agree.
We don't need a motion, it's just if everyone's in consensus.
All three.
I was just thinking about other things like the music. Like, it looks like one of those is gone.
Yeah.
Like, is that fixable? Like, we've been at the
Yes.
park more this summer, so like, do we need to replace, or is there some parts that can?
That one, it's gonna get repainted or sealed. I think the guy said $800, he hasn't picked it up yet. Cause what happened was the pieces you strike, the sealant came off and they're fiberglass. So it was,
Splinter.
someone brought it up to me and I walked out there and like, it was bad. I talked to one of our local guys and he said, well, if we sand it down, paint it, seal it, it should be okay.
Good for a
And I
while.
believe that was like a $3,000 instrument. I looked into the company they don't make that model anymore. The bamboo on it was starting to look kind of weathered. The other two are holding up better, but they're mostly plastic and metal.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of other things that we might need to look forward to, like, because it's great when we expand things, but I've always stood on the foundation of like, we need to maintain and take care of the things we have as well, and so, and especially if our budget's going down, I just want to
And a lot of those items
keep an eye on everything.
could be taken care of in operating. We've been more busy this year with other items than normal. Hope to get caught up next year more, so.
Megan, were you thinking to have a new instrument up this year's budget? I don't know if there's money there from this year's.
Sounds like we can't spend unbudgeted items for this year's money. Or is there a limit in cost, or
Yes, there's a limit on cost.
'cause that is something from years ago that we had always wanted to add, but I also,
Breaks that just come out of your operating funds.
I'm not buying like
I mean, things happen.
no, they're about $3,000, yeah.
to replace one.
Well, it sounds like they're gonna get the one fixed.
Yeah.
But the more and more I've been out there, like, the more, even just little babies barely walk and go up, and bigger kids go up.
They use them quite a bit.
It's used quite a bit.
Let's see here. I'd have to do more research in our operating, but yeah, there's general operating or operating supplies, that's kind of the catch-all. And then landscaping, those are usually the two biggest things outside of labor that are spent on the park.
Or like, have we gotten the benches and all those kinds of things that,
What benches?
like, ones that we had wanted out? I guess I feel like I'm behind on, like, did we get everything that we've been wanting out at the disc golf? Did we get,
Well, that's a whole nother
I mean,
discussion,
that's-
so we're gonna, we
Okay.
need to finish some stuff there, but, we can bring that back up here. I'm just curious, like, why did they decide to lower our budget when we finally got a budget for 1 year of 50,000?
Yeah, the finance committee met, and there's a lot of expenditures in the city, and it's planned to do Bushman Road next year, so that's kind of
That's-
priority, and keeping that levy at a digestible amount for our residents, so they cut from multiple budgets, so that just,
It's just sad, because we finally got some we got something to
Yeah.
work with, and then it's.
It hasn't been formally approved yet, so that'll happen in
Okay.
September, but yeah.
Usually
What other things
preliminary
would you like to
budgets don't
finish?
go up. I think they can.
They can't. They can't.
I missed it. What is the new proposed budget?
30,000.
30? Okay.
Well, I think going with the wood chips and the trail paving plan
And they're,
is,
like the wood chip amount,
Priority.
that one I didn't get quotes on. That one we might do better on. So there's potential, maybe, I don't know. And I think the paving one's a little high, but
I'd
those
rather,
would be the
I'd rather make
priority.
it high than, and then I don't
we
want to.
could, those would be our two priorities. And if I get quotes back that all of a sudden there's room to do all three and fit under our budget, that could be an option too.
That sounds good. It's something to work with, and these are recommendations, as you know, what we need everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, there's things we want, we want to do, but we can also discuss some of those things in our, master plan and with our project coming up. So we can try to cover some of that in there. When do you think the paving would get done?
Next year?
Spring or summer?
In the spring, you think?
I don't know. It would depend on the contractor. I mean, once this budget would get approved and once the final budget is set, if it's in the works and it's in the budget in January, I'd give a couple pavers a call and see who has the best price and then see when they can do it.
You're talking cement paving or blacktop?
Asphalt to tie into our existing trail.
When they did this parking lot.
Really?
It
It's,
Wasn't in the plan.
wasn't in the plan, and change orders, I think we can do better on our own bidding them out.
Okay. Okay. Anything else on that one?
Nope.
Or on our budgets, questions? So this is basically it. I mean, I'm used to budget meetings that are really into detail. That's so easy. It seems like, no problem. But I do wonder, because, about rolling over dollars if we didn't spend, if we're trying to save up some money to do something, we need to know if we can do that or if they're just going to take it and we have to spend it within the year. And so,
well, I think of even the garden, like, we came in way under, because we were really, I mean, we want to be fiscally responsible. And be stewards of
right.
the taxpayer money, but sometimes, I mean, yeah,
Well,
when there's money left, it just feels kind of like, oh, well, awesome, we saved. And I know there's other areas. We have a brand new city hall and there's all these different things. I get that. But it's just too bad that,
Yeah, we're just starting to replenish things or make things nicer, pay attention to things and not just maintain
yeah.
and upgrade, like you say, and add some new things and amenities. So also, we did budget in our little plan for everybody a $50,000 a year budget, and that we would be looking at that with our, with our funding for this project, along with fundraising and grants. We had plugged in 50,000 to that, so that does matter. That was part of we would be saving up and then we could spend if we saved for 2 years.
Do have to realize
Then we'd
too
have
that
100,000 for,
budgets can change at any time. It's never guaranteed.
right, but I'm just
So,
saying, everyone should be aware, council, that we put that number in as our plan and gave that to the companies, that we would be using that budget for the project.
Well, and two,
Add up a few years of it and not spend, so we could plug it into that.
the DNR grant doesn't require,
A match. So this changes things a lot.
yeah.
Well, there's ways around it. Like the budgeted amount for projects, you could do a small bond with that dollar amount and get a pretty decent sized project for that payment. Like usually it's, typically like if you got,
500,000.
yeah, 10%. Like if you have 50,000 available annually and you did it for 15 years, you could probably, that payment would get you about 500,000. So then you don't have to save. Of course, you're paying interest, but, and 30,000, I mean, over a 15-year, that would still get a few $100,000, which would get a lot accomplished. There's more ways to do things than just
So the
save
DNR
up.
will use that as a match. They'll be okay with the bond against, for the match
No,
part?
I would not say that, no.
Okay.
I mean, all of the funding and budgeting is a council decision. So you guys can recommend that, $50,000 is what you want to spend, but it's all, up to council, especially
Sure.
bonding. We're just crossing that bridge with Bushman.
Okay.
So that, that would be a council decision.
Definitely, but I mean.
Could be a
It's good to know
recommendation
on
that
these
comes from you.
options, but it's just that we had, in our
Like if-
planning,
if-
kind of we're thinking,
Let's say grants fail.
yeah,
We don't get what we want, doesn't match our timeline. That's a viable way to do something.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think it emphasizes the importance of getting an endowment
Yeah.
and fundraising
absolutely,
going.
Yep.
Yep.
Just, I'm just wondering, I
What
just,
was the match amount on the DNR? Do you remember?
I don't
remember.
know.
either.
And
50%.
I think so.
So it wasn't a
Come
max?
up with all the money up front, and then they reimburse you up to 50% at the end of the
A
project.
certain max, though, I remember.
Yeah. Yep, that's what Pequot did for a lot of the things they're working on over in their park.
The shelter and park area.
It's one of the more common ones you see cities get for those type of projects.
Okay.
And that funding may not be there next year to even apply for.
Absolutely.
right,
Yeah, you never know.
absolutely. There's so many variables here.
You guys could always come back to the council if you need a local match and say, hey, we need 10 grand more, and they could authorize the
Right.
expenditure too, so.
Yep.
And that's part of the importance of the plan process, to identify what you really, really want and what it costs, because then it's a tool for the council to show this amount of money will get us these things, yay or nay, and the public.
Transparency with all of that.
Yeah, I just need, it's all learning for me. This is new. It's not like we do this every day and even,
When you put in it, councils change, people change.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
okay. I think, is there anything else with budgets? We're good on that? Okay. Then going on to staff reports.
We're shooting to wrap up the do grading around the community garden and do some brush removal and seed the area outside of it, and then outside of the other gazebo, clean that area up sometime this fall. We're starting to get caught up on things, and we're getting settled in City Hall. So that's starting to free up some time, although our summer helper is done on Friday, so that's gonna create some extra work. And then outside of that, let's see, what else was there? I had something else on my mind I wanted to talk about. I can't remember at this point. Oh yeah. Well, the picnic tables, we'll install those, fill up the wood chips, get it more finished, and then also I've been kicking around on for next year for the garden. I'm thinking probably September, October, we post an email. If you want renewals, give them a deadline to say January, and then January 1st, the people that don't renewal or the vacant spots are first come, first serve. And
I think that's really important. Like, everybody I talk to out there is like, how do I get my spot for next year? How
Yep.
do I can I keep my spot? How do I? They're really wanting it, so.
Yep, and like I said, we do have another enclosed weatherproof structure that was on Old City Hall. We'll put that out there. And I think that those two ways seem to be the most viable, because emails are, I don't think everybody's getting their emails
Well,
or
it gets put into
checking them.
junk if they don't have, so I was gonna post something like, put the deputy clerk at blah, 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 in your contacts so that it won't bounce those emails.
It-
So,
You're,
The Facebook group, do you want to add something about parking on that 21st of August?
that's what I was thinking, I could put that on there.
FYI, there's
Yeah,
There's an event.
City Hall.
yep, I can do that.
yeah, so that's kind of what I'm thinking we do, and then I'll get a new sheet made and do the reservations. I think next year's gonna be pretty smooth with it.
Yeah.
People, it's been pretty smooth this year, to be honest.
Well, I told
have
people,
been
like,
very good.
if you're leaving for the winter, bring your check. Bring your check in as soon, before you leave,
Mail it in.
you know, versus mailing it, just bring it in now, so.
Yeah, and we'll start probably September.
We're going to keep prices the same.
Well,
and
that
all
was just what I was just thinking.
Okay.
One other,
We need to redo,
we're hiring another staff person.
that's wonderful.
Start before the year to help with more organization.
Yes. I think we need to redo the guidelines. There were some updates that didn't get in, and so we want to just put those updates in, and then we should consider. if
Something
we
at
wanna
later date.
raise, that can be done later. But considering pretty much all the gardens are going to be probably taken by the people who have it, but then the people who've gotten two only get one. They're going to have to pick, because that was a mistake, that's just an error that happened. They should not have two. So
That'll be fine.
that, the cost, you know, if we want to raise it to 40, everyone's like 30 for a month? No, that's for the whole summer. What?
It is
I've been showing out-of-town family and friends when they come to visit, and they cannot believe, and then, I mean, like, sprinklers, like, you don't even have to go out there, and, I mean, just,
Yeah,
they're getting a lot for $35.
that's
We're
a,
looking at our fee schedule in its entirety.
I'm
after
like, I
doing
mean,
budget's approved, so.
okay, so maybe, yeah, so maybe it'll tie in with the rest.
Have
yeah,
similar gardens and see what they
Mm-hmm.
charge.
I'm
And
just thinking with just how well it's gone out there, and
Sold out, people are going to be willing to pay more.
Well,
Agreed.
30 and 40, I mean, I would go up 10. I wouldn't go up any more than that.
Well,
I was
30
thinking 50 in my brain. I mean,
Well, $30.
For a whole summer?
If you take how many plots there is, and you times it by 30, and you times it by the lifespan of the garden, it paid for itself. Almost to the T, based on the $40,000 budget. So, I mean,
Well, I mean, and do we
that's-
get that money for us to spend on other things? Or is it just going
Or to
into?
expand it.
That's what I mean. So
Yeah.
like, how is this budgeting?
Taking the work that his guys went through
Yeah,
and how
it,
times this spring.
they deserve more than
Oh.
$35.
It cost a lot more than what was budgeted.
Yes.
The park's free, and that's a lot of upkeep and work.
well, so what's happening with the water pressure issue as far as?
Hi.
So is it gonna work to have top sprinkling eventually?
No, we do, until it blows out.
Again, okay.
It had to be so high because of the sprinkler system in the new city hall.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but
Doesn't work for the
yeah.
No, it works, it's just.
works too
all the-
well.
All the hose clamps we used were, at that time, City Hall wasn't even approved. So we were assuming we were running off a 40 to 50 PSI well, so we built it accordingly. And now the hose clamps for that 40 and 50 PSI, they're letting loose, and we're replacing them with better ones. And then I think we can do a pressure release valve that will, because I think what's happening is when the sprinkler valve's shut, it makes this, it's called water hammer. and it's pushing it out. A pressure release valve would, because under normal operation, when the pressure's steady, nothing's blowing apart. Like it can handle the pressure. The pipe's rated for 150 PSI, and so are all the fittings. But the water hammer, I think when it shuts off, it spikes, the pressure spikes. So a pressure release valve lets it get 10 PSI over line pressure. And I think that'll hold it together. A pressure release valve, I just started looking today for it. They're like $600 or $700. But seeing how we didn't have well costs on it, I think we did pretty good on that, because that was a big variable in the cost, was providing water. So I think we'll get it figured out in the next few weeks, hopefully. I don't know. I still haven't found an expert on pressure relief valves to tell me which one to get, but I'll find it.
I
So,
mean, we did not ask for the top watering, but he said it was, you know, it was a thing we could have and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And so, yeah, of course we took it. We were glad to accept it, but we're doing just fine. I mean, this is the rainiest year ever, so.
a good year.
We're doing just fine without only one hose all the way across. I mean, it's kind of
Even
worked out
so, the
okay.
ground is, it's been moist. I mean, some of the
Weather's been good too.
the water retention's very good. I don't think people I don't know if they are watering every day, but
No,
probably won't need to.
no.
Now, if it's in sand
Like,
ground,
what
yes.
did you put in the soil? Because, do you see that corn out there? It's over the 8-foot fence. I mean, it's
I saw
Lots
it
of
a couple
nitrogen.
weeks ago and it was already
insane.
yeah.
And the sunflowers out there. So, yeah, we did
7
good on the
foot
soil
tomato
mixture that we put
plants
in.
that are taller than him and
Like this. I mean, it's
That's
just
awesome.
incredible. There's a guy that's doing, if you're not on it, you might go on the Breezy Point Community Gardeners Facebook page and like that, and then you'll see what they're posting. And so I'm trying to kind of keep up with filling them in on stuff because they're all speculating on things and, you know,
what people
Of course
do.
they are.
yeah, you know, they're like, where do we turn? So this is where they're turning, and that I think the bulletin board will be good, and whatever that other thing will probably be even more permanent than that, to put things up there.
No, it's a new feature. I mean, realistically, for a
No
brand
one's
new
complaining,
feature,
everyone's
it's
pretty
worked
happy.
very well.
Yeah.
And it'll only get better.
Yep.
People will train themselves and habits will be established. It'll work. It's worked great.
All right, anything else? Staff reports? Committee member reports?
I'd like to make a comment.
Yeah? Well, that's part of it, so we're going to do
Yeah,
this.
that's insane.
Yeah, let's do that right now.
Can we send an official thank you to him from the Parks Committee?
If you're gonna do action, this is just a recommendation to accept this donation. And then council have to accept that sign as a donation.
Okay. Then subsequent to that, we can have a thank you official from the Parks,
Yep.
separate from anything else. I'd like to see that.
Well, this is, okay, so let's just go to this then, because this was going to be part of, I guess, part of mine committee report. So this is a sign that Shane created, and this is what it actually looks like. And he made it all ready to mount and just put in the ground for Joe.
Beautiful.
So it looks even better than that
Oh,
with the
yeah.
wood around it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And he's got it in the office right now. Did you want to see it, Megan? So with the posts
Oh,
in
cool.
it, so it's all ready to go. And he said they needed to know what the value is. This is what the size of it is. He did the cedar posts, and the value he said is $1,500. And the signs for the trailhead between the two courses. So now, you know, we moved the holes in some people. It's
Do we
gonna
need
be
to
real
make a
clear where to
motion?
go.
To accept it or
You can just make a motion to recommend.
I'll make that
Okay.
motion to recommend council accept the donation of the sign from Shane Humphrey.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous,
Motion
great.
that we send from Parks a thank you to Shane. We can do that.
Also, on the same note, like as we were talking about before, there's a few things to finish up at the disc golf course. And we'd like to, rediscuss the sponsorships for the holes and baskets and whatnot. And he's been giving us that information like 2 and 3 times, and we've been going over it, but we have new people now. We're gonna have to go over it again. And then we can get some income. And then again, I want to know, like, the income that comes in, do we put that towards all
get
park
reinvested
projects? Or is
into
it just in the disc golf course, or how do we keep track of that? Because like, that's our budget. I'm not used to that.
I don't want to give a whole government
Yeah, I don't,
budgeting, but governments use fund accounting. So you have your general fund, and Parks and Rec, for example, is a line item in that fund. You don't use revenues from parks to supply parks with its operating budget. Your revenues come in and they total up with all other revenues, whether that's property taxes, fire contracts, police contracts, and then whatever's remaining is what you levy for. So all your revenues are in one bucket, all your expenditures are in one bucket, and they're used to balance the budget. So it's not like there's a park and rec budget like you see on your personal screen where revenues are in.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, that's where I'm
expenditures
like,
are out. It's not,
how does this work?
it's
Yeah.
not like personal
Okay.
accounting, it's fund accounting that governments
So
use.
will we know, like, you guys know how much we get in from golf carts? Probably. We'll know how much we get in from the garden. We'll know how much we would get in from the disc golf course. And then we could say, well, look at it, we're bringing this much in.
That's used to
That could help
fund-
us to justify maybe getting some other park things.
That's used to fund the general fund in its entirety. We used all of those. They're allocated, within the parks but that's the easiest way I can explain it, is it's all of the revenues are used to fund all of the expenditures. And then there's line items within.
And
it,
that's
which-
where is that where we go and request a recommendation to ask and,
Transfer funds,
or
sure.
ask the
that's
council
up
to, if we could do
council.
something and.
This is new, this is new. We don't have to do this
Other
if we're not
things you
actually getting it
can't.
back to us. But
So,
we want to do it to benefit the city, and it promotes the businesses in the area and whatnot. But
That's been the idea all along.
And so, for example, sewer, you cannot use sewer funds to pay for non-sewer expenditures. That's a separate fund. That's a special revenue fund.
Makes sense, makes
So
sense.
that is to be used, collected fees, and then you spend on sewer. Same if we were to have like cable or something
water.
like that, or water, those fees are to,
Separate though, like that too?
say that again?
Cemetery like that too?
Cemetery separate. Cemetery is its own fund as well, within the general fund. So it's,
How do they get that? Why could not parks or the disc golf or the garden become a separate fund of its own within the big?
I'm not sure, because you guys, I'm not sure, to be honest, how.
We had, one of the things we talked about
That's what I
out
mean.
there
That's exactly what I was
is
asking, but
a
you said it better.
pavilion At the disc golf, so if they had a tournament, they can be under there and do their papers or whatever the heck they do, I don't even know, but I'd like it to be nice for them. So how can we then save up, so to speak, to pay for a pavilion there if everything just gets thrown in the giant bucket and everybody's pulling it out? Maybe other people would think they had priority, but it's the money that we put in the bucket.
That's exactly what I was trying
I
to,
can talk
Trying
to
to
Jeanette
say.
and look, I don't know if there's some statutory reason why Parks and Rec can't be separated, because it's just general, cemetery, EDA, and then our debt service for bond payments. So those are the 4
I mean,
funds that
I
we have.
think it's the way we've always done it, and now things are changing a little bit, and,
Likely won't change this year.
well, not this year,
we
but
can look at it
things,
for
they're
next year.
starting to change slowly
have-
over time.
You could have the garden at separate
Right.
fund. You could have the disc
That's
golf
how
at
I'm
separate
used to
fund,
things
because
happening,
we
like you
have
said, a personal.
People eager to get donations, and I think if they secure donations, they're probably gonna be looking for it to benefit disc golf.
Well, that's why, you know, we
Well,
worked so hard to get donations for
picture,
the garden,
though.
and it didn't go to the garden or Park and Rec. It went just into the general fund.
Correct, but if you look at the big picture.
Yeah.
Without the general fund, there's no parks
nothing.
whatsoever.
What pays the Parks and Rec operating is the general fund
Sure.
that we tax so it's.
When people
it's
make
a little more
donations, that's what they
complicated.
think, you know?
And it does help the city,
Yeah, for sure.
all across the board.
Definitely.
And
Might be such a thing. You can see a trial balance because it sounds like the items are allocated by garden or, disco. So you could see ins and outs and at least know.
Well, that's why I was like, I want to see that
right,
detail,
like,
but
you
we've
can't.
never been shown
You can't
that.
change it, but it might be good information for us to have.
That's
to
what I'd
say,
like to see.
It's not gonna look good if they get whole sponsors and they raise whatever amount of money and we go, okay, here's $1,500 back to be used to benefit disc golf, but they've raised 6,000.
Yeah, that's
That's
why,
not
you know,
gonna
trying to
look good.
understand how it is, I can't tell anybody unless we all understand it too.
And I think if you're asking for donation, you got really careful what you're telling them the money's going to because donor intent is just that.
Well, that's why the
Yeah.
foundation and getting that set up specifically for Park and Rec.
Right.
That's the way we keep our
Yeah.
money in our bin for the future. Because that would be very specific. And we need $20,000 as
that way.
a. Yeah, and maybe that's what we do. So, things like that. So that's why I just wanted to understand it for all of us. I didn't know if I was the only one who didn't quite understand it fully, how it all worked, because we've never really looked in any detail, and I'm used to having, in
that
business, having a
available?
budget that breaks
Like
down and
activity
shows you
detail?
garden.
Yeah, I mean, we're
everything.
presenting it in September.
Okay.
The budget, so it'll be in the packet.
Yeah. At least we know where we're making money or people are showing interest. You know what I mean? I think it'd just be good information for us to
I
have.
also think it's good to keep in mind, we're all one city together, right? It's not parks
Yeah.
that's separate from the city or planning that's separate from the city or the cemetery. It's really, we're all doing this together too. So it's not like a business where you guys are in a different business and then there's city hall. We're all one city working off the same budget, achieving goals together, not where's our budget and where are we at. It's kind of like, more globally.
Well, we're trying to be responsible for our budget.
Oh, totally.
So we can't be if we don't know where it's all going.
Yeah.
And that's my
yeah.
point, is just, I don't understand, I didn't understand where it was going, how it was going, why we couldn't see detail, or why we never have even looked at detail before. So now I know,
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
we will work around whatever we have to, but it makes sense to me to be able to see where income's coming in so we can enhance it, or do we even raise the price, because why raise it? We're a nonprofit, we're not trying to make money off it unless we absolutely need it
if
for
you
other
look big,
areas.
if you look big picture of, 58, you double the price, that is one BB in a big jar
Yeah,
for your whole park budget.
yep.
Because, well, I'll do the math right now. I mean, there's 58 plots times 30, $714 a year. So even if you double it, that's $3,400 a year. That's a far cry from funding itself.
1,500, yeah.
And yet that's how it was sort of billed, that it would fund itself.
He added a couple
donations
grand.
And all this business.
And he said over 15 years it does.
Essentially,
Over 15 years. 15.
oh,
No, that's what he just
I
said.
mean, when I break down, do cost analysis for items, like my dump trucks, anything, I look at purchase cost, lifespan. So our purchase cost was $40,000, almost right on the button. The lifespan I project for that area is probably 30 years. It's like $52,000. To me, that's a way you can do it that isn't phony, made up numbers. That's what we think. Because it's never gonna make money. I mean, I worked at a city campground that had, I don't know how many seasonal sites and thousands of people flowing through it, and it operated at a loss. It was a benefit to the greater city. It helped. Cities are not really good at being businesses usually.
Shouldn't be.
They're not trying to make money.
So when we have donated money,
I know.
that's different than money from the general fund. I feel a responsibility to the donors, that the money is spent in the way they probably anticipated or in their mind visualized. I'm gonna give money to the disc golf. Oh, good. Maybe I'll see something on the disc golf that my money helped bring to that facility. They're not thinking, I'm donating a
the
thing to
city.
the disc golf and it's gonna be used on a sewer line over here. I
I
don't,
think that's.
We've never got a sewer line donation.
She said that's its own fund.
that's why
Yeah.
that's general fund.
But I mean, eventually there will be a pad.
Unintended purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, we get donations to our police department, we can't use it for parks. You have to use it for its intended purpose, yeah. And it's accepted at the council level with a piece of paper to track it.
Well, I mean, we got a couple $100 from a few people. Is that in our budget then? So
It doesn't
people
go
gave-
straight to our budget, but
we're
essentially
spending it-
they've
we're spending it
reimbursed
in some way
a future
anyway.
possible expense that we might be incurring as a city.
You didn't budget for
But
the
it's still kind
revenue,
of,
right?
yeah.
Right, so it kind of falls into the general fund and to its fund balance at the end of the year, which we use as reserves for things that break.
Unexpected
sprinklers that
things.
blow a line. That's
How many
it.
times have we had, I mean, with our old playground, we had to replace the slide.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's things that
Yeah, that
the
was out of the
city,
general fund.
the city has helped fix, I mean, in the bigger scheme of things
Right.
too, that
No,
we
Totally
didn't
get it. I mean, it all
directly.
makes sense.
Yeah, government accounting is complicated.
It makes sense. It's all gonna have to, money's gonna
Yeah.
be, has been put into it, it will get put into it, but it's not how we usually do things in business, so we just think of it different, and if we have something we really want, we'll go to the council,
That's the intention.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we have to do anyway. We're not doing things on our own, but we're trying to be good stewards of the money and know where it is, and then if we have some going forward, what would we do with it? So we won't have that. And like you said, they could change the budget any minute, so
Yes.
we just have to do it kind of case by case. And then
We all
I
are.
think the foundation will help too,
Yeah,
to
for sure.
direct money into that, and then take that off the taxpayers as well in a different way. But that way people know that's where it's
That
going to
is-
go to something in parks.
Yeah.
So if we get that, hopefully we'll get that going pretty soon.
I have a call with Ken, I think Tuesday, and then we'll schedule really the next meeting. So our next step is to identify like who's going to be the main people in it and get pledges for 20,000, and we're ready, rock and roll.
If anyone knows anyone who wants to
Yeah.
give any amount of money to Park Rec to put in for this, we need 20,000 in seed money, and they continually reinvest that money to make,
This, a 501c3.
yeah. at the
They make
initiative.
And
interest
we're going
off
to do
of,
like an endowment, non-endowment. So endowments invested, you won't see it for 3 years, but the non-endowed is spendable. So you just have to decide when donations come in,
where to,
not endowed or non-endowed, yeah.
And then that money's invested and makes money, and then they do all the work as far as the bookkeeping and the event planning and helping with all that. And the people on the board would just be meeting like 4 times a year. And, we'll have
Really, they're being stewards for the fund and trying to fundraise. That's what they do.
And I think the events we could do will be really great community events, to bring people together, and that's,
And we
it's a
can-
win-win.
if
We
it's
need that.
501c3 money, we don't have to go to council.
No, We've already met with her. She's like, you guys can just
We'll
do it.
politely let
Yeah,
them
of
know,
course,
of
of
course we
course,
will, but,
yeah.
we're not, yeah. So that's exciting. I know I was remiss as far as getting stuff to Deanne about the Paul Bunyan Scenic Byway. So we kind of put that off, but I did tell council that we're updating that when I was at council last month, updating them on what we're doing. If you didn't already do it, go to the website. They've made a new website, and we're the first city on there, being a B. And so kind of look through that and just write down anything that strikes you that's not up to date or that we could do better on, because that's a big advertising for us, just to let them know the city, and a lot of it's outdated.
Well, we could, maybe this isn't related, but that Paul Bunyan foot, like, do we
Yeah.
have any idea where we, could that be, I want that to be on our radar. Does that need to be budgeted?
Absolutely.
Or is that a,
Oh, that's going to go into I think that's going to go into our picture of, what's,
yeah,
Master plan?
the
you
master
mean?
plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, for sure. Because that's already saying that's here and we don't have it anymore. And, 2 feet, I think.
Yeah.
We have that over at Pequot too. I went to see the trolls in Detroit Lakes and got to see all their awesome parks. Boy, do they have space. But it was amazing, and I saw the best outdoor, or the best natural play area, like in a bowl, that I've ever seen. And we had kids 6 to 14 all playing on it and loving it. And it's all either, rope or wood or, and they had like a culvert
Yep. They can
Built
crawl
over, that they could
through
go
and up like a
through
hill.
over
Yeah.
the top, and it was all kind of in a bowl shape.
Cool.
So I think we could work that into our plan too. But that was the best one I've seen in a really good layout, and you could watch your kids kind of in the circle, lower down than you. So yeah, that's all I had. Nothing else from me. Anybody else? All right.
Good.
Second?
I'm good. Yep, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, so just